ramp up insanely fast with Sapphires tools, control the board mid-game with Steel's removal, and finish the game with huge Belle combos. This is Turbo Belle Ramp, and welcome to my deck guide. If you're not used to these type of videos, here is everything in the video. They'll have timestamps, so if you want to watch any of that in specific, then just click on the time and that's what you'll get. So the key card for this deck is obviously Belle. This card allows you to put an additional card into your inkwell face down, so you can ink uninkable cards with this card. And then once you have 10 or more cards in your inkwell, this character can quest for 4 more, meaning it can quest for 5. So we're going to use Aurora to give the Belle the keyword ward, which means opponents can't choose Belle for anything other than to the challenge. So that makes it extremely hard to remove once it's on the board, and you only really need it to stick there for one turn. So we're going to get there with our Sapphire ramp cards. So this is Fishbone Quill, Grammatella, Mickey Mouse Detective, One Jump Ahead, stuff like that. We just want to rapidly just get rid of our whole hand, put all of it into our inkwell, get to 10 as soon as possible, and then drop some big combos. So once we do that, we're going to use a whole new world to refresh our hand. So we have all our cards on our inkwell, play whole new world, draw 7 new cards, ink some of them, and then we can just start dropping huge cards really early on in the game. And then we're also going to use the help of Tinkerbell and just Steel's removal tools in general to help us get there. This is a deck list I've got, so basically we've got some early game kind of help with Hook and Tinkerbell, but mainly we just want to ramp. We just want to ramp, get to our Belle Aurora combo, but we can get there with Tinkerbell. We've got Fire the Cannon, Smash, One Jump Ahead, Let It Go as removal, and then we want to keep a whole new world in our Mulligan as well. And then Fishbone Quill helps us ink as well. You can also ink uninkable cards with Fishbone Quill, so it's important to note. We got Hades just to help us a bit more in the late game, Robin Hood to help us with evasive against the evasive matchup, Beast to remove enemies' items, Grab Your Swords for more removal. Overall, just a really straightforward and really solid deck list. So the main combo is obviously Belle plus Aurora. So if you have 2 Auroras, everything has ward, even the Auroras, so that's an important thing to note as well. But basically, you don't really want to be dropping Belle with just 4 ink. You want to have 9 ink and then drop both of them at the same time, because it makes it really difficult for the opponent to remove. And if you've seen any of my videos with Tinkerbell in it, you know this exact combo. The shift Tinkerbell on turn 4 into a Sync Grab Your Swords combo will obliterate an opponent's board. I've gone over it a lot, it's a very simple combo, but yeah, there's that. In the Mulligan, you literally just want to ramp. You just want ramp and a whole new world. You definitely want to hold a whole new world in your starting hand, so you can refresh your hand as soon as possible. And then something like turn 4-5, you should be on that 10 ink threshold that you really need to get. So yeah, we just want ramp and a whole new world, and that's it. For the matchups, I've got Steel in favourable. This is because they kind of want to control the board early, and you're not really putting much of an early board out there. And by the time you do drop your cards that you want to play, they're kind of too big for Steel to deal with reliably. And also, they have a whole new world, so they will probably refresh your hand for you at some point, which is really helpful for us. And then in the even, I've got Sapphire. Most Sapphire decks are ramp, so you're kind of just playing like a ramp game. But I think you're a bit faster at ramping than like an average Sapphire deck, so you should have an okay matchup, but I've put it in even just in case. Against Emerald, should be even. Basically, you just want to control the board. If they get a really fast start and do like aggro things, then, you know, they're going to do aggro things. But you should have enough tools to control the board and then just play huge Bells and Aurora combos. And then I've got Amber, kind of the same thing as Emerald. If Amber can run away with the game, it will. So you don't want to let them run away with the game, basically. So you just want to like save your Steel tools in the Mulligan if you're playing a best of 3 and you know what you're up against. But other than that, it's kind of just if they get ahead, then they get ahead, and if they don't, then you will end up just getting to the late game a lot better than them. And then in unfavourable, I've got Amethyst and Ruby. By the time you've ramped up, Amethyst has got all their card draw set up. You do have the Beast to kind of deal with that, but it will be difficult if they can start drawing cards, because you don't really have much to disrupt that. And then I've got Ruby and unfavourable. They have Dragonfires, obviously you do have the Aurora to get around that, but even one Be Prepared wipes out both of your cards, and then you're kind of stuck at the at square one basically. So that's the matchup spread. It's an okay matchup spread, honestly, and the deck only really tends to lose to itself more than anything else. If you can get like a high roll game, the deck is unstoppable. So that's it for the deck breakdown. We're going to jump into some games now, and hopefully I can show off the deck pretty well. If you want any other decks in specific, just leave them in the comments and I'll get around to it. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so we're going first in our game here. We just had one where the opponent conceded. We have an insane start, but the opponent just conceded straight away, so we didn't get to show that one, but it'll be fine. We've kind of got a good start. We have Grammar and a whole new world, which is fine. We do find a Belle and an Aurora, which is not too good to discard, but we do run 4 of each, so it shouldn't be an issue. You shouldn't really be worried about inking Bells early anyway. You have 3 of them late game, so you'll be totally fine. So we can ink an Aurora, and then we can just go develop, find a Mickey, that's great. We can totally do that. And then we can do our kind of like main combo that we're looking for, which is you play Grammar on 2, and then you sing 1 jump ahead with Grammar on turn 3, and then ink a card, and then play Mickey on 3, and then the next time you'll be on 6 ink, which is really, really good. So we can ink Belle for sure, and then we can ink Grammar, and then pass. So you kind of want to be doing like very slow first couple of turns, but you ramp up very quickly, you know, hence the name of the deck, ramp. I think we saw them ink Amethyst Jafar there, so we're against Amethyst again, or well, I guess for the first time, and there's a Broom. Hopefully it's not Ruby Amethyst. Okay, so there's Broom, so they're going to shuffle in a card off of the Broom. So it probably will just be whatever card it is that they've discarded. I'm not even sure if they've discarded a card, to be honest. Yeah, it's interesting to see how like the Brooms have kind of come up into the meta and stuff. I probably should ink the Grammar there instead of the Tinkerbell actually. So we can sing 1 jump ahead, and then play Mickey, use Mickey, and then next time we'll be on 6 ink, and we can honestly just go straight for a whole new world and then get ready for the next time. And then if we hit the Grammar in, we'll be at 7, and then yeah, as you can see, it just happens so quick. The opponent is on 3 ink, and we're already like ready to go. So we've got Fishbone Quill and a Grammar, which I think I might just play actually. So if I ink this, and then I can Fishbone Quill, this Grammar, and then I'll just quest with both. There's no reason to not. It kind of slows them down if they hit into them, which is totally fine with me. And then next turn we can do exactly what we want to do. We've got to our massive ink like amount, and then we can just go whole new world. Refill our hand, hopefully get rid of some juicy targets in the opponent's hand as well, and then we can just start playing big threats basically. This deck is kind of all in on the Belle, so if you don't, it is kind of an inconsistent deck, because if you don't find Belle Aurora off of like the first whole new world and you get shut down, you're kind of like just kind of waiting to find another whole new world basically. But it's a blast to play, it's super fun. This one that I've been playing in real life, because I've kind of got some of the cards off of like my pack openings and stuff, and it's just really good. Like there are some games where you just feel absolutely useless, but the games where you pop off, you really pop off, and it feels like it is almost unstoppable. So there's Belle, so we can so I think we've that's an interesting top deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Belle. And then I think I instantly regret that, because the Elsa can just hit into it, which is fine. So I'll hit 1 with the Grammar, and then I'll hit again with the Mickey. Yeah, that was a huge misplay again, and that's something that I'm trying to get better at in the videos, is like I'm making a lot of misplays. But you know, the game's still new, and I feel like the concept of the deck is still there, so I'm trying to explain the concept more than anything. And okay, cool, the opponent didn't punish us for that huge misplay. If you're playing this deck, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. But yeah, so we're about to see kind of the power of the Belle here, unless they Dragonfire it, which they might do. So yeah, huge misplay. You probably should have just done a whole new world there. Kind of hoping I don't get punished. But next time we can do whole new world, and then we can ink 2 more cards. Or we can ink 3 more cards really, because the Belle lets us ink a card, the Fishbone Quill lets us ink a card. And then obviously you can just naturally ink a card. So they're going to play Aladdin, so they have quite a good board here. So we can definitely ink develop. You definitely want to ink before you play whole new world as well. And then we are refilling the opponent's hand, but it's totally fine. Okay, cool, so I think it just let me ink twice there. I'm not too sure what just happened there. But then we can use Fishbone Quill to ink Grammar. And then I'm actually gonna play a big tank just to get rid of this Elsa. And then if we quest with this Belle now, and then your opponent hits into it with Jafar, we can play another tank and wipe their board, and then we can kind of just use our board control from there to just slowly quest up. So I kind of like that. I'm not sure if I would do this against any other color than Ruby, because I'm kind of terrified of like just getting dragonfired and then we don't get any of the value. So now I've set everything up on 1 health, so I can just play another big tank and wipe the board basically. And then we've also got kind of Smash and Hades to help us as well if they do play any other like big threats. But you can see we're already at like more than double the opponent's ink, and that's perfect. If we have like, if we top deck another Belle or an Aurora or a Whole New World, we're just looking so good, and we can just keep going and refilling our hand and just refilling our inkwell and stuff like that. And once you get into the flow of it, it flows so nicely. I am expecting on turn 5 you're kind of playing around like either a Maui or a Dragonfire, but opponent didn't have any of that, so that's fine. So we can definitely go big tank here. Okay, there's a broom, so yeah, we can definitely go big tank here. So we can go big tank, and then we can go Belle. And then we can ink small tank, we definitely don't need it. And then we can just, thinking if I want to quest with this Tinkerbell, probably do want to. Why not? And then we can ink again with Smash, but you know, there's no point really. Yeah, we have a very good, we're very strong at the moment. Obviously if the opponent uses something like a Be Prepared, then we're kind of far behind. But it's just kind of the explosive power of the Belle just popping up, and then if they don't have an answer for it, you're just questing for a lot. Don't mind trading the Tinkerbell for the Jafar there. We're kind of closing in rapidly on our victory. Kind of holding Hades for a big unit. They haven't even got enough ink to play a big unit yet. There's a pocket watch, which is fine. So not really too much coming out from the opponent here. I'm left to destroy my card, which is fine. That's all their ink down for the turn. And a shield, so that's fine. So we can ramp more with our Mickey. So I'm definitely going to quest with this Belle and this tank. That'll get us to 15, and then I think I might just smash this Maleficent, just so now I guess they can give something rush actually. But yeah, I'll just go for this Mickey, ink a card, why not? The issue with like Mickey and One Jump Ahead is that you don't really see what you ink, so it could kind of like shoot you in the foot, but you know, just kind of, it doesn't matter unless it's like you're about to deck out, and then it kind of does, but you won't really get to that stage with this deck a lot of the time. Also another thing I should probably point out, if we do top deck One Jump Ahead, obviously I will quest with these because it gives us game, but you can sing One Jump Ahead with like Tinkerbell or like Aurora for example, and then you have all the ink to play with to use the cards that you've just drawn. It saves you from playing One Jump Ahead, it saves you from playing a Whole New World and then just passing to your opponent to let them do everything. And I think that's where kind of that's kind of where the what's what I'm looking for, the kind of skill comes in with knowing when to sing a song and when to just play a song. So opponents doesn't really look like they have much in hand, they just kind of you know, they've got 3 cards, they've not played any big cards, so we should be fine actually. We've definitely run ahead with this game. I'm thinking if I want to just kill both of these with the tank, or I can just if they quest with the broom or hit with the broom, I can just play Hades. I can just play Hades, get rid of this queen, play one jump ahead, and then quest up, and then if either of these two cards will be prepared, then I guess these two cards will be prepared, but we're only 2 cards away from, 2 ink away from winning the game. There's a concession, nice game 1, a good start. Kind of slowed down, we didn't keep the whole new worlds going, but other than that, pretty good game. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so game 2, going second here. It looks like we've got a fair amount of ramp. Maybe even too much ramp, just because of the uninkables that we have. I'll definitely get rid of an Aurora, I think. Do I want to get rid of one of the Mickeys? I think I will. And I'll kind of get rid of everything. I'll keep one Fire Cannon, because we are going second, so we can kind of scout if our opponent's playing like an aggro deck. We define Grammar, which is good, so we can go turn 2 Grammar, turn 3 Sing 1 Jump, turn 3 Mickey. And then from there we can just kind of go nuts. We didn't find a whole new world, which sucks, but other than that, I kind of like this hand. I think turn 1 I'll go ahead and ink Robin Hood. We are against Ruby again. So it seems like this might be an aggro. There's the whole new world we're talking about. So I will definitely ink this Robin Hood. Maybe it's better to ink Belle here actually. No, I think we're against aggro, so they won't have anything reliable to get rid of this Belle, so we'll get rid of the Robin Hood. And then I will just use one Fighter Cannon on the mini, because our ink's kind of used up for the next couple of turns. So then I could just trade the Grammar into the mini when I get a chance. Hopefully they don't do anything turn 2. Hopefully they missed a 2-drop. Because for aggro you really need to go. Like, you need to go as soon as you can. Okay, there's Corella, so it looks like kind of one of the variations of the deck that I was playing in the Road to Rank 1. If you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend go watching it. Should be a long series. Difficult one at that as well. So I'm not sure if I want to use one jump ahead this turn. We kind of need to find Grab Your Swords basically, or the Tinkerbell. If we can find Tinkerbell, that'd be good. This is a matchup that I've played a lot, but the other way around, because that's what like me and my housemates have been playing these 2 decks. And the secret is, for the aggro player, is to bounce the Tinkerbell on turn 3, and then you should be fine a lot of the time. So I'm definitely going to ink Grammar, and then I'm going to play Mickey, and then I'm going to hit into the mini. We've not really got time to use on the 1 jump ahead. And then we do have enough to use Let It Go if they play anything big, so kind of saving that for just anything scary really, like Pongo. Pongo would be fine. I know that this deck has no card draw, so we don't really want to be using the whole new world on them just yet. So we can definitely go with the 1 jump ahead. And then I am going to ink, it's a really painful ink, I do not want to ink Let It Go. But I feel like I should, and then I can use, it should let me ink another card with a Belle, but it's not. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, I just really need to use a Grab Your Sword basically. If we had Grab Your Sword already, we wouldn't be using Whole New World here at all, because we don't want to refill the opponent's hand, but we need to get to a point where we can control the board. This is a really tricky matchup for sure. Even if we can get Tinkerbell, that'd be fine as well. Okay, so they're going to bounce the Belle, which is not good at all. So maybe I can... How much? They're questing for 4, so they're not even questing for a lot really. I don't want to discard 2 Bells, so I will go ahead and play Belle. I'll ink this card, and then I'll hit into this again. It's not looking good. If they play a Cusco here, then yeah, that's just aggro. I think Evasive's already slept on, to be honest. It's kind of the deck I'm playing the most. And there's not many answers that cards have to get around it. Yeah, so it's not letting me ink a card, which I think is a bug, but that's fine. If we play Whole New World here, we probably just lose. but I don't really have an option, so there's Tank. Okay, cool. There's actually unironically Hope. So we can play Tank. We should have hit the Mickey into the Corella first, so it's a slight misplay there. But we can probably ink one of the big tanks for sure, and then we can just quest for a lot. And yeah, we're looking okay. We're not looking fantastic. We're looking okay. So we have enough ink next turn to go Tinkerbell, Let It Go. We can also use Aurora to protect our Belle from genies, which they will get to the turn after this one. But yeah, as you can see, Whole New World's just refilled their hand completely. But yeah, if we had Tink from the start, then we'd be looking good. If you know what you're up against, ideally you want a mulligan specifically for like grab your sword, fire the cannon, and like Tinks and stuff. But we didn't, so yeah, I'm getting a taste of my own medicine here with this. So we can definitely shift into Tank here, which deals 1 to everything. Opponent's questing for 5. Is there a way to kind of get rid of all this? So we can Let It Go. Do we want to sing Let It Go with Tank? Yes, we do. So we can Let It Go on the Goofy. We can pay 1 to get rid of the Pongo. And then we can play Aurora to protect our Belle from getting bounced. And then we should win the game off of that. So you can see just like the clutch control of the deck, and we have the Aurora to protect the Belle from genie bounces, and it looks like we've done a really good comeback there against evasives, and that's just like why you have Steel in this deck. Because if you don't have Steel in this deck, then 1, you don't have the Whole New World to refresh your hand, and 2, you just don't have like the raw like anti-aggro removal spells that Steel has. So yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it looks like we've got a win here. They're going to Dragonfire the Aurora, which gets rid of the ward, but they've already got 1 ink to play with now. And we still are questing for 8. And we also have Hades to get rid of anything. Obviously, if they play Cusco, which they can't because they've just used all their ink, then we would lose. But they have to kill something here, and if they don't, then we win. But I think we're in such a good spot that we're just going to win it anyway. I don't really know what it is they're thinking about. The only thing they can do is hit into the Mickey and trade it, or just quest and lose. So that's one thing I've noticed people do actually on Pixelborn, is they will like take a long time to like figure it out once it's too late. But yeah, so we're gonna quest up to 19 off of this. They do have 2 ink, so if they even play like a 2-drop, I will just Hades it. But I'm thinking if I want to play Hades now, so what they can do is they can ink a card, they can bounce one of Bombos Best, and then Dragonfire. But yeah, so I think I will just play the Hades and then pass. Just play the Hades just to kind of like fully protect, because if they can bounce stuff, which I don't think they win anyway. Like I don't think there's a way for them to win from this point. But just making sure that they definitely can't win from this point. So yeah, there's Maui. And then they can ink a card and do 1 jump ahead. Mother knows best on the tank, but yeah, so that'll be that. Really solid game there, really good comeback. Just showing off the potential that we have with the Steel, and also just kind of once we've like ramped up, we had quite a good start as well. We had a lot of ramp, which it's really hard to miss ramp in the Mulligan because you run so much of it. But yeah, so in best of 3 for this matchup next time. If you know what you're up against, Mulligan for the Tinkerbells, Mulligan for the Grab Your Swords, and yeah, let's go to the final game. Okay, so going second here, we have Grammar, 1 jump ahead, Mickey. We have lots and lots of ramp, so I don't think we need all of it. So we'll get rid of a Belle for sure. We'll get rid of Tinkerbell, and we'll get rid of one of the 1 jump aheads, I think. Maybe we can keep 1, but the problem is with 1 jump ahead is that it's uninkable, and we need stuff to ink early game. We found Whole New World as well, and we found a Smash just in case we're playing its aggro. So we can definitely turn 1 ink this Develop. This is kind of a card that you want to like use in your Mulligan if you haven't found what you need, but we've definitely found what we need, so we can just ink this. There's no really there's no real reason to kind of dig through our deck. We have literally everything. We've got card draw and we have ramp, so that's exactly what we need. We're up against Amber here. This might be one of those one-drop decks that just wants to like play as much one-drops as possible. So we'll ink, develop, and pass. And then yeah, again we kind of want to find the Tinkerbells and grab your swords, but thankfully we have a smash this time, so it should be fine. Hopefully no Simba. Yeah, so this is one of those one-drop decks where they just want to spam one-drops and then play like the Rockstar Stitch. Damn, that is a very good start from them. But yeah, we can definitely just go Grammar, and I don't think we're going to have time to sing one jump ahead. So we just have to react to this aggro basically. If they play Simba, then it looks like we're going to lose. I plan on covering this deck very soon as well. I'm just trying to get a good list for it. There's a lot of lists that just kind of fall apart. Because you'll see like they're already spending like their whole hand to play this. I think the game plan with this deck is you want to like ink to 4 and then just stay at 4. And then unfortunately they played a Stitch and they're about to get to 4 ink, so we need to smash the Stitch. So yeah, we're going to ink an Aurora. And then we'll trade this into the Lilo. And then we do have to smash the Stitch here. Because if they can shift to Rockstar on turn 4, and then they can start drawing cards, so we just need to prevent that basically. It's another one of those matchups as well where we're not really going to want to use Honeyworld. So there's a Stitch I was just talking about, so good thing we did that. There's a Zeus which quests for 2, which is quite annoying. Again, uninkable. So they're already nearing in on like winning the game, which is like not good. So what can we do? We can ink Fishbone Quill, and then I think we can play Aurora, or do we just lose if we do that? So basically if we play Aurora, we can then play Let It Go on this, hit in, and then we will just lose. So we have to use Let It Go this turn. So we'll just get rid of the Zeus. But I'm kind of hoping for a big tank here, and that saves us the game. Okay, so there's another Zeus. There's the hey, yeah, and I think we've just been completely aggroed in game 3, which is actually quite funny. I'll give it to the opponent. That's actually quite funny. So yeah, we'll just pass. We'll let them get the win. And yeah, that was a really quick game 3, but hopefully I showed the deck off and showed some of its weaknesses up as well. It's not very good against like this much aggro, but if you can beat this matchup for sure. If you find Tinkerbells, and like I say, if you know what you're playing against, then this deck gets a whole lot better because you know what to mulligan for. You just look for Tinkerbells and then you just win the game. So best of 3, you definitely win this matchup for sure. But best of 1, that's where the aggro is going to cheese you. So other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.